Hey all, Hipper here. So today's video is quite a long one. It's clocking in at over 33 minutes, but it's because I have 3 battles in this video here. Because what I want to show, and this is a video I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. And then today the stars just aligned, so I happened to get 3 battles on the map here, which is Greece, at 3 different spawns, all in the Yamato. So that's perfect, and I thought, okay, I'm going to use these 3 battles here to kind of get my message out there. And what is the message, you might ask? Well, this map here is usually just an absolute nightmare to play. It's chaos, and everybody seems to congregate somewhere in the middle, north or south of B, and then the enemies flank them, and then everybody get wiped out. So I'm going to show you here how I believe battleships should be played on this map here, because this map here is all about crossfires. There is nothing else as a battleship you really have to worry about here. Of course, if you can cap, well, that's perfect as well, but what you have to do is look for broadsides and get those nasty citadels. I mean, there's nothing new. That's what battleships do in every battle, but on this map here it's just so important. And another thing I also want to underline here is, if you sit back in open water on this map here, you're gonna get fried, just like it's happening to me here. But I was prepared for this. I'm bow in, and this Minotaur here that keeps hurling AP at me, there's just nothing he can do about that. So what I want to do is to get in towards the middle of the map, over here on the flank where I spawned. If you notice where I spawned on the right flank, and I am fighting for my flank. And that's something I see all the time on this map here. People abandoning their flanks, and that is just asking for trouble if you do that on this map here. Absolutely. So I'm walking the talk in these 3 videos here. I'm doing exactly what I think you should do as a battleship player. And as soon as I get some battleships spotted, I start to look for broadsides. And I still keep bow on to where, the most problematic ships are, and this Yami here is starting to be a problem, so I'm starting to turn in towards him. But I'm not stopping. I need to get into the cap, because what I need to be able to do here is to crossfire B. And I see I got 2 very nice citadels on that Yamato there, and that means that I can now cover that whole entrance into the B cap there. And that's what you want to do. You want to get broadsides. You want to get as many as you possibly can. And the best way to do that, well, is to set up crossfires. And that's what I'm doing here. And the reason I'm starting with this map here is it's a pretty good example of what the rest of the team shouldn't do. Because you see, there's 2 destroyers in this cap here. As unnecessary. One of them should have gone for B. But that didn't happen. Okay, fine. And then we have 2 other battleships and a cruiser on their way over here as well. And that's unnecessary. Did you spawn on this side of the map? No, I don't think you did. Well, then you stick to where you spawned, please. And this is what happens all the time on this map here. And the problem is that now we are giving up the whole right flank of the map. And although I am looking for as many broadsides as I can here, and especially this guy here, he's a nasty player, so we need to have him removed quickly. Unfortunately, I don't get much out of that shot there. But you can see what's happening here is that because everybody is running to this side of the map, which they have no business doing, they didn't spawn over here. If you spawn at B, you take B. If you spawn over at C, which is probably the worst place to spawn, that's just too bad. You'll take one for the team, and I'll show you later how to do that. So what's happening now is that the map is turning, instead of being north against south, is now west against east. And that's pointless. That's exactly the same problem you have as if everyone gathers in the middle and shoots at each other when they are all bow tanking. It's the same thing. You need to spread out. You need to get crossfires going, and that's the way you win. It's very, very simple, actually. So don't be afraid to push into the map in your battleship like I did in the beginning here. You get into a good position, and once I'm in this position here, I'm able to rake up almost 200,000 damage. For example, this Georgia here, because as I was saying before, now they're starting to push the flank that's undefended. And as I said, turning this battle into East versus West, and we have just lost all our well, yeah, it's just the problem now, because we pushed down to the A cap. Everybody's down here. No one's spread out. No one has the ability to do crossfires other than me at the moment, and it's just a recipe for disaster, really. So you need to spread out. You need to fight for your cap. You need to fight where you spawn on this map here. If you don't do that, you better have a very, very good reason for giving up your cap or moving to a different cap. So I almost got that Georgia out there. Had I deleted that ship, I think we might be able to win this battle here. But unfortunately, he was left with like 1% of health remaining, meaning that he's going to be a bit of a waste for me to waste like whole salvos on, even though he's healed up a little bit more now. And so very similar to Fault Line, this map here is a map that really separates the potatoes from the more experienced players. Because if you don't understand the concepts of the game, then you are not going to do well on this map here. And if you don't get sunk immediately, then you're going to be directly or indirectly the reason that your team loses. So, I mean, it's not an easy map to play. I'm not saying it's easy, it's definitely not. And most people seem to panic on this map here because it's hard to, as a battleship, to get into a position where you are not constantly under fire. But don't worry, I mean, that's what battleships are for. You should be able to tank a bit of damage in your battleship. I mean, I've used about half my health here, and I've got nearly 155,000 damage to show for it. So it's not a problem. As long as you know where you're going and what you want to achieve and how you as a battleship can have the biggest impact on the battle, and that is usually by doing as much damage as you can, and you do that by finding crossfires and getting those nice citadels. So I've only got 4 citadels in this battle here because I was cheated out of some of them, I think, but whatever. And now the carrier has got its eye on me. And this is already looking like a loss now, because the red team, they just positioned better. I mean, we gave up the right flank right from the beginning, and that's a huge, major mistake. And I realized that spawning over there on that flank is probably not the best place to spawn. It's probably almost as bad as B spawn on shards. But like I said in the beginning, it's just too bad. Like, you're gonna have to take one for the team over on that spawn, and if that means getting sunk while you're holding out against a superior force, well, that's just what you gotta do then, because that means that the other flank has time to cap and reorganize, and hopefully come to your rescue before you're sunk. If you just give up the flank and head towards the B on this map here in particular, but that goes for all maps in the game, but especially on this map, if you give up your flank and you head for B, you are asking for to lose and to be deleted and to lose the game in a pretty embarrassing way. So what is a crossfire? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's just where, 2 or more ships position in such a way that you can catch the enemy cruisers and battleships in such a way that the incoming fire intersects, so they cannot angle towards everyone at the same time, meaning that they will have to show broadside to somebody, and that somebody is the one who gets the very nice citadels and all the damage and all that stuff. And maybe that's not you, and that's just too bad. Maybe next game you will be the one in the better position. But as long as you work with your team to set up these crossfires and make these things happen, then you've done your job. And I mean, that's all there is to it, really. It's not hard, it's not difficult. It takes a bit of practice and a bit of looking at the minimap and deciding what you're going to do. But giving up a flank, any flank, is just the worst idea ever. And especially on this map here. And the reason I picked this map here, and I've said it a few times now, but I'll say it one more time, is because it always happens on this map. People flee towards the middle because that's where the best cover is, and that means that they are unable to, put useful fire on the enemy, and the enemy is able to flank them on both sides, meaning that, well, it's a loss. So these guys here have finally caught up to me over here on the flank, and I am taking fire from pretty much, well, everywhere. And this is the situation you want to set up for the enemy, I mean, not yourself. And the reason this happened is because everybody went to this side here. And that's why I started out this battle here, because this is, like, the way I played over on this flank here, like, just by myself, I would say is the right way to approach it. I mean, 186,000 damage, high caliber, and pretty good game. But yeah, I'd say that probably the rest of my team didn't position very well. And that's fine, sometimes that happens, and yeah, I have no problem with it. But on this map, it happens all the time. Almost every battle. So, now I showed you how I play at the A cap, or the left spawn, whatever you want to call it, same thing. And in the next battle, I will look at the B cap. And then for the last battle, we'll take like the right flank over there. That's usually where the problems start, because there's not much cover over there, and you can get like fired at from both, well, pretty much every spawn on the map. So yeah, it's not a pleasant place to be, but like I said, it's just too bad. It's your job, and you just have to last as long as you can. And I should just say, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone in particular here. I'm just showing what happens in general when you play this map here, and how I suggest that you could, limit your losses and play a little bit more, well, with a bit more thought on this map here. Because like I said, it is a difficult map, yes, and especially in the battleship, you're going to get focused, absolutely. And if you don't position well, then yeah, you are in huge trouble on this map here. Because it is one of the most difficult maps in the game, and it rewards aggressive, ballsy play, and also as a battleship, like I said in the beginning, if you sit back out in open water, you're just going to be a target for every HE spammer on the map until you show broadside, and then some battleship is going to take you out, and that's it. So don't do that. Alright, in the interest of time, I'm just going to skip the last few minutes here and then go directly to the score screen. So as you can see, it's a loss. But like I said, I think my battleship play was pretty solid, and it just turned into a defeat because, well, no one really was in the right position to get those crossfires going. And like I said, that usually means that you're going to lose in sometimes very humiliating ways on this map here. Alright, we're on to the next battle now, and like I said, I'm walking the talk in this video here. I shot these 3 battles here in the same 2 hours, and obviously I'm on my own, I'm not in a division, I'm just doing what I think is the right thing to do. So this is the B cap, and the problem with this spawn here is that depending on what you do, it seems that everybody just follows you. And luckily that doesn't happen on this particular occasion here, because usually when you head into B, then everybody follows you into B, and that's a waste. Like, you're not going to get any broadsides doing that, because no one can hit anything from inside B without anyone outside spotting and anyone else to set up crossfires. And really, like, you don't need more than 1 or 2 ships in there in the middle holding the B cap. That's pretty much all you need. So I'm going in anyways, because I want to set up crossfires going out from B towards C and towards A. So as soon as I get battleships that tries to push in towards A or C, or cruisers for that matter, but in the beginning primarily battleships, then I should be able to have very good shots at their broadsides. And you can see the Massachusetts is reversing here, and that's a mistake. Right off the bat here, that is a huge mistake. Generally, reversing in battleships is a mistake. Yeah, it is. I don't know why everyone does it, because it just gives the enemy team a huge advantage. So stop doing it. It's just a really bad idea, because you are not getting into a better position by reversing into open water. There are occasions where it makes sense, but that's done by quite experienced players who also have a plan. You know, most people I see, they just reverse without a plan because they don't want to get shot at, and that's the wrong idea. In a battleship, you can get shot at. It's not a problem. The thing is that you don't want to get shot at if you're showing broadside. So there is a huge difference there. If you saw in the first battle here, I got shot at a lot, and I had a Minotaur shooting at me for like a minute, but I was bow on, and it doesn't matter. There's no problem at all. You take like a little bit of damage, but who cares? It doesn't matter. You're getting into a good position where you can really make those huge battleship guns count, and that's what you want. And again here, we are taking incoming fire, but now I am in a good position where it's really hard to hit me, and I have a clear field of view all the way over towards A. So if anyone tries to push in there who doesn't have island cover, they're going to be in, well, a world of pain. There's really no one but the Lexington at the moment, so I mean, that's all I can shoot at, so I'm going to shoot at that. And look how well the destroyers are playing this battle here. It is just a joy to see. One destroyer at each cap, and they're actually capping, and they're spotting, but they're not YOLOing too far ahead. So it's really nice to see. It happens very rarely on this map here, I'll tell you that. So I'm starting to think, okay, there's not much to shoot at over here. It looks like this red team is doing exactly what you shouldn't do, meaning that they're all congregating at the B cap where there's cover, and they think they're safe. And like I said, that is just the worst thing to do on this map here. So like if you're not always on reload with your battleship guns, then you're doing something wrong. So that's why I'm pushing out. I want to see if I can't get a few shots, because otherwise I have nothing to shoot at, and it's just a waste. You need to be always firing in your battleship, and if you're not always firing, then you are in the wrong position. It's very simple. So I have to take a little bit of incoming damage here. That's fine, because I need to get some damage done. I haven't done a lot yet, and we are 5 minutes into the game because I've been positioning pretty much, and then also I've been pretty unlucky here. There's no red ships at all on the left flank, and I mean, okay, I mean, not complaining, because that means we're going to win because they've given up the flank, but it does mean that it's hard for me to actually make full use of my guns. So that's why I just pop out for a little bit, and then I am going to reverse in again, because there was just too much resistance out there. So I'm going to have a look over on the other flank, because it looks like they are all heading over, you know, in that direction. And from this position here, there is this very nice V-shaped hole in the island here that allows you to actually fire your guns at the enemy, although you are pretty much sitting, you know, right next to the mountain. And of course, cruisers can make use of this as well. And it also means that, like, you are in the middle of the map, so you can project your power anywhere you want to. To just paraphrase T-Bull here, I can hit the C cap, and I can hit the A cap, and at the same time I'm holding the B cap. There are a few places I can't get my guns in, and that's namely the islands on the periphery of the B cap towards the north, and that's why I need battleships on the other flanks to be able to cover those spots. And that's how you get crossfires happening. It's really simple, and I don't understand why this map here in particular seems to be such a problem for people, because most of the times you end up with people doing what this Kurfürste is doing, just sitting out in open water, broadside to the whole world, and just waiting to be sunk, really. Or you get battleships like this Yamato here, just you know, getting burned to death because they have been reversing from the beginning. And then there's the last battleship out there at Horizon that's just fleeing the Massachusetts there, which is also well, a pretty much recipe for disaster. So all the Reds are pretty much driven to the northeast corner now, meaning that I can pop out safely because there is no one at all on the left flank that can citadel me other than the Massachusetts out there, but he's so far away I don't really care about him. And anyway, I need to get out there and actually participate a little bit. I do have 100,000 damage, but it's not quite a lot in Yamato, to be honest, and it's primarily because no one pushed at all on the A flank, which I was set up to defend, because that's usually one where at least one battleship goes, because no one really wants to push on the C flank, which I said before. But in this battle here, it just turns out that no one wanted to pretty much do any pushing at all, and well, what can you do? Anyway, we will just set up shop in here now, and all we have to do now is just mob up. There's only 4 enemies left, and they are in like horrible positions. They are like totally exposed, and they have no way of actually getting back at us or any chance of winning this battle here, because they didn't play smart from the beginning. They gave up their flanks, and they gave up the B map cap as well. There was no one in there to really contest it, and well, man, sorry to say, but that means you're going to lose on this map here, because this is a ruthless map. If you make mistakes, even very small mistakes, chances are if the other team has, you know, a bit of experience in the game, they're going to punish you for that mistake. And that's probably why there's so much confusion, and that was a terrible sell with that one there. That's probably why there's so much confusion on how to actually approach the battles on this map, because if you make a mistake, you are usually deleted instantly. And perhaps that's why people have a really hard time with this map, and they're very defensive in their play. When actually you should do the opposite. You should be very, very offensive. Like I was in the first battle, and also in this battle. I go straight for the cap, and I set up immediately to get those broadsides, so I can get at the enemies when they are positioning, not at some random time later in the battle. So we are getting towards the end of this battle here, and I must say my team also did extremely well. Like the destroyers played exceedingly well, and everybody just did a very, very good job. And as you can see, no one's taken C, and that's okay. It's the least important cap. If you can take it early on as a destroyer, that's great, because it's really hard to actually take back. But if no one takes it, that's fine. A and B are the important caps, definitely. So 122, and yeah, pretty decent overall. But let's look at what happens when you spawn over here with the C cap, because this is where people panic and usually just leave the flank flat out as soon as they spawn. But here I am spawned over here, and there's 3 battleships, so this is probably going to be a bit of a drawn out battle here. So I really want to go over to this island here to get into a good position, and I'm turning early so I don't have to show broadside later. And then if I get spotted, I'm just going to abandon this turn here, and then just take up the defensive Yamato position, which I'm sure you've seen a lot of Yamatos do, because it works really well. And this is, you know, a very tempting shot, this one here, and I just have to take it. And of course that means I'll get spotted, and I will have to, you know, adopt my my B stance here. And we are facing 2 battleships and a cruiser so far. And this is the position I mean, where it's quite hard to know which way the ship is going, and it's quite hard to actually hit the sweet spot in the front. Like that spot kinda also exists in the back, but not many people know about it. I mean, even the most potatoes in the game here, they know about the vulnerable spot on Yamato in the front. So if you angle like this, it's very hard to get at that spot. And at the same time, I have full use of my 3 turrets, meaning that I can just sit here and just wait it out, basically, because it's going to take a long time to sink me, and that's what you want to do. over on this flank here. The longer you can draw out the battle over here, the better it is for the guys over at A. But as you can see, we're not doing well over there either. And the destroyer that spawned at B has decided to come over here to C as well, which is weird, to say the least. Because why wouldn't you cap B? I mean, stick with your spawn. It's very simple, especially on this map. If you don't do it on any other map, then please do it on this map here, because it means everything. So we are slowly gaining the upper hand here. In hindsight, I should probably have gone over to like more towards the middle of the map. But I was fully prepared for everyone else to just run away and leave me here, you know, taking grenades in the trenches. So that's why I'm in the position I am now, and it's okay. I just have to make the best of it. But if I could do this again, and obviously I can't, and you never can because you don't know what your team is going to do unless you are in a division, then, well, you just have to play with what you got. So we're pushing these red spawns back here, and I really don't know how we're getting away with this, because as you can see, no one's over at A other than a battleship, and I really don't know what's going on. Like over here on this flank, we're doing pretty well. Like the guys, us 3 battleships spawning over here, we have it under control. We don't need other battleships or cruisers over here. The destroyer has taken C. And although the second destroyer coming over here is probably a questionable choice, I guess it's better than nothing. So it does mean that we will have to start approaching B, because now we lost the battleship over at A. I mean, no surprise there. And you can see the battleship out in the middle of the ocean doing absolutely nothing, doing some sort of complaining about it. He's probably saying, "Nice work," or something like that, when in fact he is the one sitting out there and being more or less useless. So I'm going to start moving in towards B, because I got a very nice shot on that Alaska before, and that's pretty much all I needed. And the other guys in the 2 battleships here, they've taken care of the other ships. So it's time to position a little bit better. And as you can see, we have not given up this crucial flank here. This is the flank that if you give it up, you better have a very good plan, because it's gonna come back and bite you. And here we have like a textbook crossfire. Like this Yamato here, he is approaching the A cap, and as you can see, we've got him broadside on. And just waiting for him to pop up again, and then give him a very nice salvo. So he is target number 1, because we don't want him to do what the battleship in the first video did, the Georgia, because we don't want this guy pushing around, taking the A cap, and then being able to hit us in our broadsides, because that's what he wants to do. And that would be easier to do if that battleship that spawned over on that cap actually had picked a better position, because he's sitting out there accompanied by a cruiser, and I don't know what they're doing, playing canasta or something, but it's not helping a lot. And I'm taking a few shells here, and that's fine. I mean, I need to stop this Yami here coming around, because that's going to be a really huge problem if he's allowed to just sail unopposed out on this flank and start citadeling everybody from the A cap, which is what is going to happen. So these are the things that you have to keep an eye on. You cannot just allow battleships to flank like this. That's how you lose battles. So I've got some good shots in, and it's just a matter of time before he's done for now. Again, we managed to salvage this battle here, but really this should have been a loss, because there was only 1 battleship that took upon itself to go over and defend the A cap, and that's usually a loss when no one takes that cap and everybody goes to one side. But for some reason we persevered here, which is fine. So we're getting towards the end of this video here, and I apologize, it is a long video, but I kind of needed to stop in 3 videos, and it's just over 30 minutes. But like I said, this is a video I've been wanting to do for a very long time because, yeah, well, let's just be honest here. I'm very frustrated with the gameplay I see on this map here, and something needs to be done. So, like I said, today I happened to get 3 battles on this map at 3 different spawns in the same ship, and I thought I'm going to use this as an example of how I play this map here. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but I am saying that crossfires is the way to win on this map here. So if you give up the flanks, you are asking to lose, and also if you give up the B cap, obviously, I mean, you have to play where you spawn. And I think one of the reasons is that when the ships spawn on this map here, they spawn very closely together and towards the middle of the map. And I suppose that means that people think, oh, okay, I got the middle spawn, and then you just go for B without actually looking, which is not the case. I mean, if you spawn on the right, then you go for the cap on the right. If you spawn on the left, you go for the cap on the left. It's very, very simple. And there is no capture the base version of this map. Domination is the only way to play it. So, I mean, there's no excuse for reversing your battleship right off the bat into oblivion and giving up your cap and just, well, in general, being useless. So, I hope this gave a little bit of information on how to at least play a little bit better on this map, because it's really painful most of the time to play Greece. But like I said, this is a punishing map that requires good play, good positioning, and most of all, a good look at the map once in a while to understand what's going on. And then first and foremost, always play your flank or your middle. Like, don't run away. Anyway, there was a long video, this one here, and I know that, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless, and I'll see you out there.